So, reality is if you're not vegan, you are funding some of the most atrocious acts of animal cruelty taking place. There was a time when I used to mindlessly consume animal products. Never thought twice about how those products came to be. I just went to the grocery store and loaded my shopping cart up with dead animal body parts, never thinking twice about how those animals were tortured and killed. Yeah. In case you don't know, pigs are forced to live in overcrowded, shit-filled sheds for 6 months before they are slaughtered. 6 months they live in misery. Chickens are forced to live in overcrowded, shit-filled sheds for 6 weeks before they are slaughtered. Some of these birds actually become crippled before they reach slaughter weight because they're bred to grow so abnormally fast that by the time they're ready for slaughter, they become crippled. It's really, 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 really cruel what's being done to these animals, and that's not something that is justifiable at all because we don't have to eat animals to be healthy. So there's no reason in the world for us to be doing these awful things to these animals because we do not need to consume animals to be healthy. In fact, a plant-based diet has been proven over and over and over again to be the best diet for human health. Even from the American Institute for Cancer Research, the National Kidney Foundation, the American Heart Association, it is all stated the same, that a plant-based diet helps reduce the risk of all of those very common and very deadly diseases. Yes, it is true. Yes, it is absolutely true. I have no reason to lie. It's just sad that people literally accuse me of lying, but they literally believe dairy farmers when dairy farmers say that they have to milk their dairy cows. That's what their babies are for. But their babies are stolen from them. And if they're males, they are killed so that their baby food can be sold to you. But you actually think that dairy cows, produce milk for you. No, they produce milk for their babies. Dairy cows produce milk not because they are dairy cows. They produce milk because they are mothers. The dairy industry exploits the reproductive system of females. Pretty disturbing. They were doing the same exact things to humans. They would be crimes. Some pretty heinous crimes. Crimes of rape, crimes of kidnapping, crimes of theft, crimes of murder. Yeah, see, in the dairy industry, standard practice. Sexually abuse those animals to force them to reproduce. Those dairy cows have to be pregnant in order for them to start lactating. They masturbate the bulls to force them to ejaculate so they can collect their semen, so that they can force that semen into the dairy cows to impregnate them so that they will start to lactate. Then when they give birth, their babies are stolen. The males are killed. The dairy cows are killed too when they can no longer produce enough milk to be profitable. That typically happens at about 5 years of age when they can live over 20 years. So again, if the same things that are being done to these animals on these dairy farms, on these factory farms, in these slaughterhouses were being done to humans, they would be crimes of rape, kidnapping, theft, and murder. And you should really open up your mind because there's vegan alternatives to just about everything. And the vegan alternatives are much better for your health. I'm not saying any vegan processed foods are like a health food, but they're definitely better than, the artery clogging carcinogenic crap that you're currently eating. Yeah, there are studies that prove the more meat, dairy, and egg products you consume, the more risk you have of getting heart disease, cancer, kidney disease, cerebrovascular disease. Even Parkinson's disease is linked to the fats and cholesterol in animal products. I don't see any studies showing that plant-based burgers cause cancer. Yeah, and especially if you make them from scratch, because you can make your own plant-based burgers from like cooked lentils and grains and like whole plant foods, and actually make them very, very healthy. But even the processed vegan burgers are going to be better for you than the burgers loaded with artery clogging fats and cholesterol. And meat, dairy, and eggs are very acidic, very inflammatory. They lead to all kinds of health conditions. It's not vegans who are dying by the thousands each day prematurely from heart attacks and strokes and colon cancer. Yeah, bacon causes cancer. Bacon is carcinogenic. Veganism is godliness. Yeah, just turn to the very first page of the Bible, Genesis 1:29. Right there is proof God designed us to be vegan. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. And animal agriculture is literally destroying everything that God created. Animal agriculture is the leading cause of deforestation, species extinction, water pollution, water depletion, ocean dead zones, fisheries depletion, climate change, pandemics, world hunger. Yeah, there are 1 billion people in third world countries starving to death right at this very moment because food they could eat is being used to fatten up your food. It takes up to 16 pounds of grains to produce just 1 pound of beef. Takes up to 6 pounds of grains to produce just 1 pound of poultry. All of the grains needed to feed all of these ceaseless tens of billions of animals that are currently being raised for their flesh and secretions, they're not all coming from first world countries. Some of the grains needed to fatten up all of these animals so privileged people can consume animal products, they're coming from third world countries. That's a fact. Yeah, plant lives do matter. That's why you need to go vegan. That's an argument for veganism, not against it. A hell of a lot more plants are killed fattening up the animals that you eat for slaughter. Again, it takes up to 16 pounds of plant food to get just 1 pound of beef in return. And animal agriculture is the leading cause of deforestation. Every single second, an acre of land is cleared, and it is mainly to graze and grow food for livestock. Those fires in the Amazon, a lot of them intentionally started by cattle ranchers because it's an easy way to clear the land to graze cattle. And if you're truly concerned about plants, not only should you become a vegan, you should become a fruitarian because no plants are harmed for fruits, nuts, or seeds. Yeah, I still eat chicken wings. I eat plant-based chicken wings. Well, it's not legal to harm people. It's not legal to do the things that are being done to these animals. It's not legal to do those things to other humans. It's not, whether they're white, black, purple, orange. No, it's illegal to rape. It's illegal to kidnap the babies off of humans, no matter what race they are. It's illegal to murder them. Now, there's a lot of bullshit that's happening. But, just like if the world was to go vegan, like right now, if animal agriculture was to be banned, which it should be, there are still going to be people who kill animals and eat them. That's never going to end. because there will still be people who will do it illegally. You know, there's still bad in this world. You can't force people to do good. But once it becomes illegal, most people, you know, they'll be forced to do the right thing. But some people will continue to do the wrong thing. And it is wrong to harm others, no matter who they are. Whether they're human, non-human, doesn't matter. It's not okay to discriminate against anyone for any reason. I mean, we should. I'm not religious, but I do believe in the golden rule. We should treat others as we want to be treated ourselves. And animals do qualify as others. So if you're against animal cruelty, you absolutely should go vegan, and you should do it right now, because literally every single day, 200 million animals are forced into slaughterhouses every single day. Hundreds of millions of animals are pulled from the oceans each and every day. So we're talking hundreds and hundreds of millions of animals being needlessly slaughtered every single day for products we don't even need to consume, for products that literally increase our risk of all kinds of very common and very deadly diseases. It's not the circle of life. It's the circle of violence and cruelty and injustice that we see reflected in society. Speciesism is the root of all forms of discrimination. You know, people are raised to believe that, well, you know, these are pigs and cows and chickens. It's perfectly fine to kill those animals. Perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. They're very tasty. You know, we get pleasure from eating them, so it's perfectly fine. But yeah, killing a cat, killing a dog, that's wrong. That's wrong now. So there's a difference. No, there's not a difference. But people are brainwashed to believe there's this difference between these animals and your cat or your dog. And there is no difference. They're all sentient creatures who have similar personalities. They all feel pain. They all want to be free from harm. But people are tricked into thinking that it's okay to harm these animals, to discriminate against these animals, to do things to these animals that we would not do to a cat or a dog or a panda bear or a giraffe, you know. But it's okay because these, you know, these are a different species, so perfectly fine. And no, this isn't about me. This is not about me. There are a lot of people that think I'm very dumb. I don't care. I don't care whether I'm dumb, whether I'm smart. I don't give a shit. This isn't about me. This is about the animals. You should realize that it is not okay to victimize someone, especially for self-gratification. That is the only reason why these animals are being victimized. So people can have a few minutes of self-gratification. You're not eating animals because you need the nutrients from those animals. You can very easily get all the nutrients you need on a plant-based diet and be much healthier for it, and actually reduce your risk of cancer and heart disease in the process. Oh no, I'm just such a horrible person, because, you know, there should not be people in the world who literally promote nonviolence. That's just like so crazy that there's literally people in this world promoting nonviolence. Get the fuck real. Oh, I'm what's wrong with the world. No, abusing others, that's the problem. And destroying the planet in the process of abusing these animals. Animal agriculture is the leading cause of deforestation, species extinction, water pollution, water depletion, ocean dead zones, and climate change. And world hunger and pandemics. Do you know you can freeze dry food and it will last for like 25 years? Yeah, there will never be a time where I'm ever in a situation where I have to eat the flesh of another. And it's not my opinion that animals are being needlessly brutalized. That's not an opinion, that's a fact. Pigs are forced to live in overcrowded, shit-filled sheds for 6 whole months before they're forced into a slaughterhouse screaming for their lives. Chickens are forced to live in shit-filled sheds for 6 weeks before they're forced into slaughterhouses and hacked to pieces. Cows are even slaughtered very young. Cattle are about 12 to 22 months of age when they're slaughtered for beef. They can live over 20 years. So they're very, very, very young when they're slaughtered. None of these animals live a full life, nowhere near a full. Most of these animals don't even make it to their first birthday. Like again, pigs are just 6 months old when they're slaughtered. So they don't even make it anywhere close to their first birthday. Chickens are only 6 weeks old when they're slaughtered. They certainly don't make it anywhere close to their first birthday, even though they could live over 7 years. And it's just crazy how people literally say that farmers take care of their animals. How are you taking care of an animal when that animal ends up dead and butchered way before their first birthday? How is that taking care of an animal? That's just insanity. That people think that farmers literally take care of their animals when they send them all to slaughter at a fraction of their natural lifespan, way before their first birthdays. No, go visit the shit-filled industrial sheds where the cows or where the chickens and the turkeys and the pigs are kept. Even cattle raised for beef are literally, most of them are kept on feedlots that aren't much better. They're not out there in an open pasture under grass, grass under their feet. They're literally on dirt feedlots, dirt and shit. And yeah, this is right here. This is an image of a cow right before slaughter on a transport truck. Does that animal look happy to you? Looks like they're in distress to me. Yeah, most of those animals being shipped to the slaughterhouse, like right now, there are literally millions of animals being shipped to slaughterhouses. Just in the United States alone on this very day, 30 million animals are going to be forced into slaughterhouses on this very day alone in the United States. 30 million. So right now, at this very moment, yeah, there are millions of animals in the United States being transported to a slaughterhouse right now. And these animals are in distress. They're in distress in those industrial shit-filled sheds that they're forced to live in. They're in distress on those transport trucks. And they're certainly in distress in those slaughterhouses. And it's so easy to go vegan. Never been easier. Right here on TikTok, in the search box, just look up vegan recipes. You'll find endless vegan recipes right here on TikTok. Hundreds of TikTokers who post vegan recipes. If you don't like to cook, go to happycow.net. Put in your city. You can find vegan and vegan-friendly restaurants in any city. All fruits, all vegetables, beans, grains, legumes, nuts, seeds are vegan. Most pasta is vegan. Most cereal is vegan. There's all kinds of plant-based milk products, plant-based cheeses, plant-based ice cream, plant-based burgers, plant-based chicken. Just about anything you eat can be veganized. And there's so many endless recipes to just veganize just about anything. Even bacon. All kinds of ways to veganize bacon even. They even sell vegan bacon. No, the pasta I use does not contain eggs. Does not contain eggs. And the reason why you shouldn't consume eggs, let me tell you briefly before my battery dies on my phone. I only have 2% left. At the hatcheries where all egg-laying hens come from, even the organic free-range egg-laying hens, they cannot determine the sex of those chicks until after they hatch. So upon hatching, they sort the males and they put them through a macerator, which grinds them up alive. And the egg-laying hens themselves are sent to slaughter when they can no longer produce enough eggs to be profitable. That typically happens at about 1.5 years of age, when they can live over 7 years. In the dairy industry, dairy is not cruelty-free. It's very extremely cruel. Those dairy cows have to be pregnant. They do not produce milk because they are dairy cows. They produce milk because they are mothers. Dairy farmers forcibly impregnate those dairy cows to get them to start lactating. As soon as they give birth, their babies are taken from them. If they're boys, they are slaughtered for veal, typically. Even if they're raised for cattle, beef cattle are only about 12 to 22 months when they're slaughtered. They can live over 20 years. So yeah, they're still slaughtered very, very young. And so are the dairy cows. At about 5 years of age, when they can no longer produce enough milk to be profitable, they are sent to slaughter. That's where ground beef comes from. Ground beef is dead, ground up dairy cows. That is the thanks that the dairy farmers give to those dairy cows for making them money for like years and years. They send them to a fucking slaughterhouse when they can no longer produce enough milk to make them money. And then they have the audacity to say that they treat those animals like family members. Since when does someone send their family member to a slaughterhouse when they can no longer work and make money? Yeah, if you want to talk about lies and misinformation being spread, it's coming from this disgusting industry, the animal agriculture industry. Disgusting. It needs to be banned. It needs to be banned right now. It's animal abuse, environmental destruction, and what they're selling you is just products that literally clog up your arteries and increase your